Hello, people. Hey, I'm gonna make beef pot pie. So what we did yesterday, I took crock pot and I cooked some roast beef. I made gravy. This is leftover carrots and celery that we have, and then I'm gonna add some of this along with some onions. And I'm getting ready to make a pie shell. So I'm gonna make beef pot pie. So here's how it goes. Oh, and look right here. We got some figs. These are figs off of our fig tree. That's what it looks like on the inside. These are so delicious. You can you eat the skin and everything. They're just perfect. Oh, and I made some bacon this morning, just 'cause I'm American. There's our camper. We've been kind of getting it prepped. We're getting ready to head out Thursday for a show at the Clearwater. Then we're off to Deception Pass to camp out there. So anyway, this is the beginning of me making pot pie. Alright, moving right along. Kind of mixed up, I chopped up some beef and I put all the other things in there with the gravy. Got it to the consistency I want. Now I'm getting ready to roll out my pie crust. There's Bookie's jumpy, we call it the jumpy because that's what he does. He loves to jump in it. That's his little high chair. Anyway, so I got 3/4 of a cup of Crisco, and I've got a teaspoon of salt, and that's 2 cups of flour. So then what I'm going to do is I kind of beat that into the flour. And then I'm going to add 8 tablespoons. Oh wait, then I'm going to cut that shortening in. Work it up and then work it all into the flour, and then I add 8 tablespoons of cold water to that. And then I'm going to roll out 2 pie shells, one for the top, one for the bottom. Then I'm going to dump the stuff in, and then I bake it for about an hour. And I don't really have I think about 350 or 365 is probably good pie temperature. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so what I forgot to say, I guess maybe I need a little more explanation. This is a pastry blender, and you mix the flour, salt together. Then you add the vegetable shortening, 3/4 of a cup to 2 cups of flour, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and then you mix it up. Now I'm going to add the 3 or 8 tablespoons of cold water. And then I get to the point where I just start mixing it by hand and work it together. And then that gives it the right consistency, I think, to roll it out. And then sometimes scoop it up with like a spatula or something just to get it. And then I roll it onto the pin, and then I roll it over onto that. That's a good way to get it up, get it into the pie pan, you know, without having it come apart on you. Okay. So now I've got the meat and all the stuff there in the bottom crust. So one thing you can do is you can kind of grab this edge here, and you can kind of roll it up onto your rolling pin, which is helpful because then it makes it a lot easier to unroll it. Ooh, it's pretty sticky. Onto your pie. Boom, just like that. Then I'll trim all this bit off of here. I'll put a couple slits in it, and I'll put it in there for about an hour. Okay, so here's the other part of it. There's always this leftover pie crust that you trim off, you know, when you're done, and it looks like that. So my grandmother, she used to make pie cookies. You never made them, you just take the leftover pie crust, you take what you would put on cinnamon toast, you sprinkle that on there. That one looks like the state of Nebraska, and that's Kansas for all the folks back home. That looks like a crude version of Tennessee. This looks like something from the United Kingdom, or maybe Utah. So there you go. About 10 minutes, that cooks up at the same temperature. That's why my grandma did it. She always made those, and that was kind of a precursor to the actual pie. This pie recipe, or at least the crust, is Grandma Walden's recipe that I understood, because Aunt Jeannie, that's the way, well, it was in the book that they shared or something, I don't know. But I still have it in my pantry cupboard. I know Darren is a good pie maker, so maybe you post the next video, because we'll see what happens. Okay, finished product. Delicious pot pie. I turned it up to 365. And then some pie cookies, and we're snacking on that. Crazy. Alright, thank you.